Every great franchise reaches a point where its canon becomes fractured. Timelines split. Continuity breaks. Fans argue over what counts and what doesn't. Welcome to the Canon Rewriter. Today, we're rebuilding the original Halloween timeline. From the 1978 classic through Halloween, Resurrection. The goal isn't to erase the sequels, it's to make every single one of them matter. It's October 30th. Nearly 50 years have passed since Michael Myers first escaped Smith's Grove Sanitarium, and time has almost erased every trace of what happened there. The building has sat abandoned for decades, slowly crumbling as nature reclaimed it. Tomorrow morning, demolition crews are scheduled to tear it down once and for all. But before they can begin, the federal government steps in to conduct one final mandatory inspection. Uncovered documents suggest unauthorized psychological research took place beneath the hospital during the 1960s. As investigators search the basement, they notice the floor beneath one of the oldest wings sounds hollow. Concrete is broken away, revealing a massive steel hatch buried beneath the foundation. Rust covers its surface, but one set of words remains perfectly readable. Project Samhain. The door hasn't been opened in decades. Stale air rushes out of the darkness below as the locking bolts give way. Emergency lights flicker to life, illuminating an underground archive that shouldn't exist. Shelf after shelf stretches into the shadows. Thousands of patient records, medical journals, security footage, boxes labeled Silver Shamrock Novelties, maps of Haddonfield, photographs of the Myers house dating back to the early 1960s. Someone spent decades preserving this place. One locked cabinet catches their attention, bearing a brass nameplate, Dr. Samuel Loomis. Inside are dozens of cassette tapes carefully labeled in Loomis's handwriting. One tape is marked simply, "Play First." An investigator inserts it into an old recorder. Static fills the room. Then Loomis begins to speak. His voice is older than we remember, weary, broken. If you're hearing this, then someone has finally uncovered what I spent my life trying to expose. Loomis continues, "History will tell you. I spent 40 years hunting Michael Myers. History is wrong. I was hunting the people who became obsessed with him." The room falls silent as the tape clicks off. For the first time in nearly 50 years, someone has begun uncovering the truth. And that truth starts long before Halloween night in 1978. After Judith Myers was murdered in 1963, 6-year-old Michael was committed to Smith's Grove. Officially, Michael was diagnosed as a severely disturbed child. Unofficially, he became Subject 1. Deep beneath Smith's Grove, a classified research program known as Project Samhain began studying Michael around the clock. Not because they believed he was possessed or supernatural, but because they couldn't explain him. Every psychological evaluation produced the same result. Michael displayed no measurable empathy, no fear, no guilt, and no remorse. To the researchers, he wasn't simply a child who committed murder. He represented something science couldn't define. Years passed. They interviewed him, observed him, and tested him. Nothing changed. Michael never spoke, never reacted, and never cooperated. The longer they watched him, the more obsessed they became. Only one man realized where that obsession was leading. Dr. Samuel Loomis initially believed that Michael could be helped. Loomis hoped somewhere inside the silent child was a damaged human being waiting to be reached. But over 15 years, his hope disappeared. He eventually came to one terrifying conclusion. Michael wasn't empty. He was occupied by something that couldn't be diagnosed. As Loomis later described it, purely and simply evil. The researchers rejected his warnings, believing enough observation would eventually reveal the answer. Instead, October 30th arrived. Michael escaped. The events of the original Halloween unfold almost exactly as we remember them. Babysitters are stalked, friends are murdered. Laurie Strode survives. Loomis confronts Michael outside the Doyle house. 6 bullets strike him. Michael falls. Then he disappears. To the public, Michael Myers escaped custody. To Project Samhain, something much worse had happened. Subject 1 was loose, and their entire secret operation was compromised. The organization immediately shut down Smith's Grove's underground research program, erasing every official record of its existence. At least, that's what everyone believed. Loomis's recordings reveal another truth. Project Samhain never ended. It simply relocated. Its surviving members quietly accepted positions at Haddonfield Memorial Hospital. This historical relocation changes everything we thought we knew about the events of Halloween 2. For years, audiences believed Michael followed Laurie to the hospital because of their family connection. But in this version, there was another reason. Inside that hospital worked several of the people who had spent 15 years studying him. Michael wasn't consciously hunting scientists. He was simply returning to the place where the people responsible had gathered. One by one, they died alongside nurses, doctors, and innocent victims. When Laurie and Loomis destroyed the operating room, in a desperate explosion, the hospital burned to the ground. Official reports called it a tragic act of survival. Project Samhain called it a catastrophic loss. Years of research vanished in a single night. Or so everyone believed. Back in the underground archive, investigators continue searching through boxes blackened with age. Inside one crate, they discover financial records with a familiar logo: Silver Shamrock. At first, it makes no sense. Halloween 3 has always stood apart from the Michael Myers story, featuring different characters, a different villain, and a different mythology. Until one investigator opens another folder. Inside are contracts revealing that Connell Cochran secretly funded portions of Project Samhain years before launching Silver Shamrock novelties. Suddenly, the final missing piece of the puzzle falls into place. Silver Shamrock wasn't a random detour. It was another branch of the same obsession. While Project Samhain tried to understand fear by studying one man, Cochran tried to weaponize fear on an unimaginable scale. His Halloween masks weren't connected to Michael Myers directly. They were born from the same dangerous belief that evil could be studied, controlled, and ultimately used as a weapon. When Silver Shamrock collapsed, its research quietly returned. The project hid back in the shadows of Project Samhain. For decades, fans wondered why Halloween 3 existed in this world. Now it finally belongs. And this is only the beginning. Because the greatest mistake Project Samhain ever made wasn't studying Michael Myers. It was believing they understood him.